Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rowan, the Lyranwitch. I will be your reader today. For those of you who are new, welcome, and I hope that you get what you need from this reading. To those who are my returning subscribers, thank you all so much for booking personal readings, coaching, energy healing, and animal communication, as well as checking out my shop. You all leave me great comments. I've really been loving our connections lately, so I really appreciate you guys. I've had so many cool animal readings just this week. I'm so appreciative. I can't wait to share more about them. But let's get into it today. I'm going to be doing another crow message for you. So for those of you who are new, the crows are the cosmic informants. They have their earth counterparts, which are the blackbirds that we know about, and they kind of work as a collective to let light workers know what's going on. And you know, what energetic bonds need to be broken, what systems need to be broken to free us to be able to commune with the earth better, all right? They also have galactic counterparts, and that's mostly who I'm channeling, all right? Lastly, just before I get started on the reading, I am giving away 2 free readings when I hit 1,000 subscribers. To be in the running, all you have to do is leave me a comment and let me know that you're interested and or what you think of the video. And also make sure that you are subscribed. So with that being said, let's hop in. So the energy that was coming through this last few days was all about charming people. I kept hearing the word charming, and I kept kind of seeing that playing out in my daily life as well, where strangers would kind of come in and try to put on this very bizarre, charming energy, and almost ask for information that I knew they didn't need from me. I see this a lot with monitor spirits, which I've been speaking about quite frequently on this channel now. And this is basically, I'm going to turn this music down slightly. Monitor spirits are essentially like the watchers of some much larger energies that are at play in this universe, and especially in this matrix, that have a vested interest in keeping light workers and the general populace, I guess, kind of tapped out of the Earth Mother and nature, and, you know, kind of keeping people in a vibration that they can leech off of, because our frequencies of shame, fear, guilt, hate, anger are all like food to them. They're like parasitic entities that basically eat that. So a lot of these beings really want this to stay, us to stay at a lower vibration. So they'll send in these little monitor spirits or watchers to kind of hop into people and either test you to see how much access they can get to your energy, or kind of get a feel for how they can mix things up in a social situation. How to bring us to this 9 of Swords energy, which is anxiety, not sleeping well at night. A lot of this, as I've been saying lately on this channel, is about keeping divine partnerships, be they friendships, family relationships, coworker relationships, anybody that you're divinely meant to connect with that would elevate the collective. These beings are trying to work against. These archonic energies are trying to keep away. They like to keep light workers in a state of servitude. And that's why a lot of light workers are struggling with a lot of physical things, struggling with a lot of emotional and mental things as well, with the Strength card coming up, and feeling really, really stuck. Chariot in reverse. Yeah, literally, 4 of Swords. This is the overarching energy that these archons are poking in this week to see if they can keep you in. Now, the way that they're doing this right now is, again, by trying to come in and put on this charming attitude to see if they can get you to fall into codependency once again. A lot of us are coming out of codependency because we didn't get the justice that we needed in the past. But as you can see, the justice in this card is holding a blade. Is cutting this all out. There's a lot of swords coming up here. How many swords did we just get? And instead of weaponizing the swords against yourself now, I feel that many of you, if not all of you, are using your thoughts, directing your thoughts intentionally to free yourself and cut the bonds that you've been held by, whether by others or by yourself. Yeah. You can't make it up. What was I just saying? Freeing yourself from bonds. With the Eight of Swords. Now, the thing about the Eight of Swords card is this woman could easily use any of these swords to cut herself loose, but she's blindfolded. It's all about illusion with this energy. And that's what these watchers, these little archonic energies, are trying to charm you back into. They're trying to charm you back into this subservience or this victim mode of being like, well, things aren't really as free or as good as you really think they are. Aren't you still nervous about that? Don't you think that might be a problem? Did you think this through before taking this risk that seems to be going well now? Like, these are the kind of questions that people are going to be bringing in, but they're going to put it in this, like, little, like, in an attractive package almost. And this can be from people you know, or literally strangers that just come in and make a dig at your appearance when you were feeling really positive that day. Or, you know, something like that. It's this real energy of, like, trying to get you to pause and doubt yourself. And what I'm hearing from the angels and from spirit, and especially the crows, is speak over this energy. Do not let this go anymore. Not to make a pathetic crow joke, but don't let it fly anymore, okay? Like, it's time to leave that behind. This is all past energy that's coming back because they want you to stay in this Page of Swords. They don't want you to get to the Emperor, Empress energy where you've been through all the lessons, and you have already been through the lessons. Let's face it, this collective that I'm channeling right now, if this message is resonating for you, you have been through each of the different kings and queens. You have seen the lessons in your life. You do not need to go back to the page. Like, humility is one thing, but I think that people confuse it for inferiority or confuse it for doubt. You know, like, you can be very humble and very fucking sure of yourself. And yeah, you are the high priestess. No matter what your gender, you know what's up, and you know that you don't need to be in the page anymore. And that's why these different beings are coming in with these ace in reverse energies and trying to get you to beg for crumbs again. It's not that time anymore. Like, that time has passed. But you're going to be hearing people bringing up your past. People are going to be trying to, if people do know your plans for the future and they're permeable to these kind of energies, you're going to have a lot of reverse full energy of people saying like, oh, are you sure? Did you really plan that enough? Maybe you should put that off another year. I don't know if that new career is going to be the best for you. Like, that kind of doubt. Let that go. Like, these people are in their own lives still focused on the negative, still really focused on, like, feeling like a page. And this has a lot to do with material abundance as well. These are very different energies, right? Like, we have the Ten of Wands, which is feeling extremely burdened and weighed down. This is a very stuck energy. And this is you. You're in the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, maybe you're not exactly where you want to be yet, but even if you don't have a lot just yet, you know you're headed there. You know you're feeling pretty good. Things are going well. You're talking yourself into a good space every day, and you're changing things. You're changing things in your life. Because you know that you have this Six of Wands, this triumph energy coming towards you. Nobody can take that away from you except you. By playing into these illusions, by putting the blindfold back on, right? Like, you might not feel like you're the Hierophant just yet, but you are. You know, the last stage of the Hierophant, as I'm channeling the information right now, is this is coming up in reverse for you right now, because there might still be a little bit of this doubt in you, where whenever these energies come in, you might pause and be like, should I take that into account? Maybe I should rethink it, you know, and don't let that happen. Like, the Hierophant is a teacher, and a lot of you have been, again, mistaking humility for imposter syndrome, honestly. Like, you have what it takes to do the things that you are feeling called to, and the things you're feeling called to are begging you to come towards them. Oh, that was weird. The whole ground just shook here, and I heard a loud boom outside. Okay. We'll see what that means, I guess. But, you know, I really feel like what it's saying, though, is that you are going to make a splash in whatever you're feeling called to. Even if you haven't seen any proof of that yet. The thing is, you have to go forward to get to this. The Six of Wands is somebody who went to battle and came back from the battle and was celebrated. And the thing is, like, I think you're still around the people that you were battling against, the kind of people in the world that they don't share the same views as you. They don't see you as a war hero because they're the very people that you've been throwing the spears at and trying to navigate this whole time. Like, I did a reading about being over enemy lines for years and just ending that process and moving to a better place. I really feel like there's going to be a movement of many, many light workers and just people who are on the conscious path right now to find each other, because a lot of us are still in these little hell sectors on Earth that we're here to transmute. And we're divinely guided to these places, like we're on assignment. And I feel like we're wrapping up assignments right now overall. But just know, if you're not feeling the celebration yet, it's because you haven't gone to the place yet that you were fighting for. You haven't reached the place on this planet right now that has the people that you are fighting with. These are still like enemy lines, so don't expect them to throw this party for you, right? Like, I think you might be seeing these people kind of throwing, almost like throwing tomatoes at you. That's the kind of energy I'm getting here. And you're like, why are they doing this? I've been really trying to bring them good things, and these people can't receive it. They're not ready to receive it. And don't be afraid to, when you do get to this new place, that Spirit will guide you to. Don't feel like these are clubs they're going to beat you with whenever these are wands that they're cheering for you with, you know? I think that a lot of us are very traumatized from the type of energies we've been dealing with, and it's going to be a challenge to step into the new commitments of the new earth that we're being guided to soon, right? Like, we're still in this reversed King of Cups energy in a lot of ways, which is like being cold and kind of unwilling to take on new energies because there's so many monitors around at the moment trying to prevent this full energy, this movement forward, this Six of Wands celebration, right? It can feel really scary, Three of Pentacles, to allow other people into your projects and into your life. And that's because it's not time yet. Okay, so the thing I want you to hear from this is, like, no, right now you're not receiving communication from the people that you feel guided to just yet. Maybe you're not getting the insights that you need or the cooperation you need to make your projects happen in the way you want yet. But that doesn't mean that those projects aren't going to happen. It means the timing is not there yet. It means you're wrapping up the last thing. You still have loose ends. It won't be forever, but this is you needing to return to the hangman for just a little bit longer and understand what last things need to be tied up in this cycle to move forward. What do you need to accept before you can move forward? Right now we're in the practice of refusing because there's been so many people that have been taking from us, but there are things that need to be accepted in order to move forward. And those don't have to be people. Sometimes those need to be new thought processes. Sometimes those need to be things that you admit about yourself that you weren't willing to admit before. Truths. Those are the things that need to be accepted. Don't reject those things. At least sit with them, at least this week. It doesn't have to be a long, arduous process to sit with these things. But, you know, ignore the people trying to charm you. Focus inward right now and get clear on what your directions from Spirit are for wrapping up this last part of your life so that you can get that stuff clear off the board and receive the insights and the desire and the guidance to go to the next place, which for a lot of you is a physical relocation. So that the people that you are fighting with meet you and can celebrate with you, and you can form these commitments, form these projects, communicate with them, have people to talk to, right? And celebrate in this Nine of Pentacles instead of having people trying to, like, pull you down for doing what you need to do to get to your Ten of Pentacles peaceful life. Not everybody is looking for peace. I'll be honest, there's people who think they're looking for peace, And I say this as somebody who went through many, many dark nights of the soul and a lot of delusion myself because of my traumas. There were times I thought I was looking for peace, but I was looking for more chaos because I didn't feel like I deserved it yet, because I didn't believe in myself enough yet, or I was putting other people ahead of me. Maybe that's something to accept, that you weren't really looking for peace at certain times of your life. There were times we were the problem. Everybody is the karmic sometimes, right? And that's okay. But those things need to be accepted and cleared off the board to move forward. Because there's insights that Spirit is trying to send to you as the druid, right? They're trying to send these insights in, but you are not clear enough from all this other stuff. There's other things that need to be wrapped up, other anxieties and things that are plaguing your mind before you will get the druid's insights and the druid's downloads, and you can get to this, okay? You can get that forward motion, take that full leap to the next step, and meet the people who are going to celebrate with you. But again, right now is not the time to be paying attention to your naysayers. That's like one of the last things that you need to leave behind for everybody here. If somebody is coming in and casting doubt, even if they're people you know and love, speak out loud and say, like, don't talk about my project that way. Don't speak negativity onto what I'm doing right now. I didn't ask your opinion. No thanks. I'll talk to you another time. No thanks. You can say those things. There's a lot of people here who I feel struggle to say no because you feel like you're going to be attacked and defeated. Maybe a lot of you have had verbal abuse in the past. It can be hard, but that's something that strength. If you work with the dragons, if you're connected to your dragon, because a lot of my collective, it does have dragon codes. They will teach you this. But just some advice that I have for you. King of Swords. cut that shit off. Some advice that I have for you about learning to say no and set boundaries is learning to write down a few key phrases that you feel like would be useful for you. Just average no statements. No, thank you. I don't like that. Please don't talk about me that way. I didn't like what you just said. Things like that. Or, I already know that. That's a good one, especially for anyone who is femme, or like, you know, I'm non-binary, but people read me as a woman because I present femme, right? And women especially get that from a lot of men, like mansplaining. So I didn't ask is a great thing to write down, but write those things down and almost like rehearse them, because it can be really hard in the heat of the moment when you're first learning to set boundaries and say no, to be able to say, like, to be able to think of those things. But if you say them once a day, first thing in the morning or before you go to work or wherever it is that you go, say them out loud and just get used to them so that you don't get that rise of fear or panic or anxiety whenever you say it. And then by the time you say it enough times and that situation comes up, it won't have any emotion attached to it when you set that boundary. And you might panic a little afterwards. That takes time to build that response and that skill set. But I promise you it really works. That's how I did it. Yeah, that's going to remove that kind of reverse moon energy of like avoiding the fact that you're conflict avoidant. I feel like there is a lot of conflict avoidance that comes up for this group. Even if you're somebody that's been working on it for a long time, this might be a time to, revisit and see what needs to be left behind for the next phase. Because there's going to be a lot of new people and new energies that you'll be navigating in the future. You've been calling these people in with the Magician here. And because there's going to be new energies, you want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success. I see the sun right here peeking out. You're going to have success with this, right? But it's really important that you learn to set the boundaries immediately so you can weed out these people that you don't want. Okay, and the last card that's popping out to me is the Chariot. There's going to be a lot of forward movement here soon, so focus in this week and the next few days, especially on setting boundaries when you need to, speaking truth over the situation, speaking an ending over certain things that people will say over you, and kind of breaking the spells they're putting on you, especially these archonic energies that are jumping in right now. And really sit with yourself in that hangman energy and decide what you need to accept to move forward. Okay, that's what I have for you guys. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear it. And to book with me or meet with me one-on-one, get a pre-recorded reading, any of that stuff, you can find all the info about me in the comments. I will never reach out to you first because a lot of scammers do that, and that's my way of protecting you and making sure that you're actually getting what you need, making sure that you're not reaching these crazy people. So that's what I have for you guys. I'm sending you love and peace. See you in the next one. Bye.